Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the SheEO Leading In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of SheEO Lead In. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights, despite their sometimes rocky paths, and found a way to lead in. All right, so here we are today talking to Natalie Jones, the co-founder, and then also Charles Parisi, discussing what's coming up, and that is our 100th episode, which is really monumental, very exciting. So how is everyone today?
Great. I'm excited to be here and talk about everything with you guys.
I am so excited to be here with you, Rebecca, and Natalie, and it's just, honestly, it's an honor to see this crazy idea we all started a couple of years ago, that we've made it to 100 episodes. That's incredible. Yeah. And the amazing women that have been on the show and the spectacular conversations. I'm just so proud of both of you.
Thanks. It's exciting. And, to have something special with my daughter. Now she's 23 years old. It's really been a fun journey. And, when you think about when you first broached the subject with me, Charles, I was thinking, I don't even think I thought about it for 24 hours. I said, let me think of it, only because of the time commitment.
Correct.
And then, I thought about it, and I've always been a big proponent of women and trying to figure out how to promote them, help them in their careers. And, it's been, I feel like in a lot of ways, career-wise, professionally, women have taken big strides. But then I also think there are a few things that hold us back. And I love that our conversations here on SheEO Lead In really talk about those different struggles that we have. And so just all of the stuff that's happening in our crazy world, it's been a cool journey. What are your thoughts, Nat?
Yeah, I think it's been a long time. I mean, it's been 3 years. I was 20 when we started. So I was really excited to just join and be a part of it because, when we started, I was in college and I didn't necessarily know what to do with my life, and I didn't know really wanted it to do for work. And I feel like I met so many amazing women and a lot of people that inspired me in my career. And now I'm finally starting my career and I work for a super powerful woman. So I feel like it's all just funneled and really helped me along the way. And I know that it's helped other women and younger women especially. But it's just been so special, especially to start with my mom and be a part of it with Charles. I just think the whole process of everything has been so special and just like a once in a lifetime experience, I think.
Well, Natalie, I have to tell you a couple of things. One, like I said, it's for me, it was really magical when you said yes to be part of the show, because I did thought it was going to be super cool for you and your mom to work together in the show. 2 different generations, but an awful lot of commonality between challenges in terms of growing as humans and growing as leaders that are women. And so for me to tell you, when I left today the studio, and that's why I'm so happy that you're here with us. When I left the studio today, because my daughter's home from college, I said, I'm going to the SheEO show. She wanted to chill and relax a little bit. She's home from school. And I said, but remember, this show was started because of you and young women like Natalie. And that's the reason. That's obviously, I think, why we're here, to try to let these other women impart phenomenal advice and wisdom, so perhaps your path may be easier, it may not be, but you'll know how to navigate, whatever challenges may come your way. So, hey, share with our audience. So you mentioned you were in college. So what, in fact, are you doing these days, and where are you working, and who's this powerful woman you're working for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, when I started, I was only a junior in college. I was only 20 years old and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And just being a part of the podcast, I met so many powerful women and women that just inspired me to like really go for what I wanted to do and my passions. And I ended up working for a woman that came on the show. I worked at her PR firm, Jamie Siegler. O'Grady. And that was so special. I worked at JPR, and through that, she connected me with another woman who worked at Sunbum. And then through that, I really found my passion for production and product development. And then through that, I graduated college and I really knew what I wanted to do. And I ended up interviewing at a millinery bespoke hat company, and we make luxury hats. It's called Teresa Foglia. So I work for a woman named Teresa, and she basically started the company like 6 years ago in Brooklyn, and she started it all on her own. She just went to Europe and took a hat making class and then found that she was so passionate about it and so good at it because people were literally trying to buy hats off her head when she was wearing them around New York. And then she thought, oh my gosh, I really have something. So now we're in Houston, we're in Malibu, we're in Laguna Beach. We've had a lot of pop-ups all around. So it's so special working for someone who inspires me so much and inspires me to, do my passions. And ultimately, I hope to start a business one day. So I really couldn't be in a better place. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with being a part of SheEO and just like my journey and connections through all the women has led me to, being here today. But yeah, I just think SheEO had a really big impact on that. And overall, I'm just thankful to be a part of it. And obviously, my mom, of course, having a strong woman leader in my life and just getting to know like I can really do anything I want to do if I really put my mind to it. Um, but yeah, now I'm working in production and manufacturing, which there aren't a ton of women that are in it. So it's super special. I'm always sourcing with all our vendors and they're all men. And I just feel lucky to be where I am. And I feel like my path really paved well and I'm exactly where I want to be.
So Rebecca, what do you see? No one's seeing what I'm seeing, and they're not in studio with us, but I'm watching you. So what are you feeling right now?
Well, that's exactly what this show is about. It's about inspiring young women to try things that maybe are outside of their comfort zone. I look at Natalie and I'm so proud of her because she is everything that I wish that I was when I was 23. I mean, she's a lot like me now, but I grew into the person that I am now. She, being so young and already being where she's at, and the courage that she has of going to this business that she literally didn't know anyone, and just, was out of town. And it was something just, I think probably something she didn't feel 100% comfortable doing right at the start because it was a little bit different and it was, but it was, doing something that she believes in. She does love fashion. But I think it's really been fun to watch her grow. And, her career and her degree is in business. And so just, seeing how it's translating in her life is really exciting for me as a mom. But again, as what the goal of this podcast has been, it's to help women try things that maybe they weren't sure that they were maybe suited to do, or even just explore who they are and what they might want to do, where they can find something that they're very passionate about. Because when you're passionate about something, isn't this true, Natalie, that it doesn't even feel like work most of the time?
Totally, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh gosh, we have crazy deadlines or, whatever, and it's a grind. But at the end of the day, like I'm so excited to go to work every day and I'm like passionate about what I'm doing because it's sustainability and fashion and I get to meet amazing, cool people all the time. So if you love what you're doing, I think that's the most important thing. And I feel like all the women that have come on the show, like they've found their way to like doing what they love. And I think that's super inspiring.
Yeah, that's amazing. I want to bounce a couple things off of you, and I'd love to have both of your reaction, because since I knew we were doing this kind of reflective episode, 100 episodes in, I'm still amazed. Like, when you hear 100 powerful women, Rebecca, you spent time with, like, what do you think? What do you feel? What do you think about?
It's amazing. And, I always tell people that, the best part of my job is meeting new people. But, I love to talk to young people. And when I tell them I have a podcast, they say, wait, what? You are, and, I'm a mayor of a city, the city of San Marcos. But when they say you're a mayor and then you have a podcast, how did that happen? And, the young women that I speak to, I tell them, well, part of the reason that I wanted to do that is to actually help inspire young women to try things that maybe they wouldn't. And, one of the cutest messages, I just recently, earlier this month, had breakfast with Santa. And one of my friends sent me this text message, and she said, there's this picture of you and this young girl. She wanted to take a picture with you, and you did. And she said, and you know what? She told her mom, she said, you know what, Mom? The mayor told me that I could do anything that I wanted to do in life and to just try things. And she said, and you know what, Mom? I believe her. And that to me is one of the greatest compliments I've ever had. And I know my daughter feels the same way. And so this podcast has really opened doors to be able to do that. And so I just find it such a privilege to be able to share other women's journeys, their stories, and with other women so that they can be inspired.
Yeah, that's great.
I think it's also special, like 100 women.
Yeah.
That's so many, and they all agree with that, and they all want to help, and they all want to like inspire younger women. So I think that's like one of the most special parts is they want to be able to inspire other women too. And it's not just, oh my gosh, look at how successful I am. It's like, no, like I want to share my stories, because all of the women that came on had so many different struggles in life, and there were so many different journeys and navigations and different times they had to pivot to get to where they are now. And I remember you showing me that text. It was so, so sweet. But I like, the younger you are when you learn that, I feel like the more inspired you are and the more you believe in yourself. So I feel like it's so important for younger women and even like women my age to really learn from others and be able to gain all this knowledge.
No question, so important. So much of life is between our own ears.
True. I was actually just going to mention that too. As Natalie was speaking, it reminded me almost nearly every single woman that's been on the show has brought up that one of their biggest obstacles has been themselves and their confidence. And I think Natalie's right to the point that the younger you are that you learn and you gain that confidence, the more you're going to achieve in your career. I mean, just think about if, I look at Natalie and I say, okay, she's only 23. If I had the confidence at 23 that Natalie has today, I think I could have achieved a lot more too. And so I think, every generation, to help them, realize their full potential, which I talk a lot about that in life, is, trying to figure out how to inspire them, how to encourage them, how to get them to, again, try things outside of that comfort zone, because really you can achieve so much more.
Yeah, no question. Hey, Natalie, so I want to mention to you that I know you're going to be excited about it. You know it already, but at least for our listeners, because when I do have the luxury of being in studio to watch Rebecca record her episodes, I have the privilege. She lets me kind of be the bad guy. I tell our guests that, hey, by the way, we're starting, the SheEO lead-in camp program for young women, and you get to be a counselor, and all you get is a T-shirt and a
juice box. That's what he says.
She says, Charles, we have to upgrade from a juice box, but
It's an espresso, Charles.
yeah. So anyway, hey, but Natalie, the camps are really going to happen this year. 2024 will be the launch. The University of San Diego, which Cloudcast works with them on some camp programs now, has agreed to kind of work with us and bring some of these young women to the campus for spring break camps and summer camps, however fast we can move. So it's nice to see SheEO is going to, our original dream, Natalie, with you, is in fact going to be expanding this year into some camps.
And maybe it's your alma mater, too.
Yeah.
I know,
Oh, yeah.
that is my alma mater.
Yeah,
that would be so special, especially like actually hands-on, like the women meeting and being able to speak and actually affect the lives of younger women would be so special. And I obviously want to be a part of it too.
Do you think all of the young women campers will get a cool hat like the one you're wearing?
I don't know about that. We'll see what I can do.
We know we're going to make sure we get a picture of because for our audience, Natalie is actually zooming in from her power base up in Orange County. But we're going to get a picture of that screen with that fancy hat so the listeners get a chance to. Rebecca, maybe we should put a poster up at the 100th. We haven't announced that with the event yet, have we?
No, let's talk about it, Charles.
Wow. Yeah, we have to put a poster of you up at our 100th episode event party, which National University has agreed to host for the women that have been part of this program. So on January 31st, 4 p.m., we have a 100th episode party at National University. How cool would it be to have like a poster of Natalie wearing that cool hat?
I know. I love it. And it could be a dual purpose because, she's got that powerhouse boss, Teresa Foglia, and the hat and all of it. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Maybe we have to auction one off.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can get her to donate one.
Maybe we have to auction, a little auction and put the money into some scholarships or something. We'll figure it out. But so we're gonna have to make sure we get a picture of our Zoom screen there. And but how cool is that, Natalie? They'll have an event for invite, and hopefully as many of the women can come back and join us on January 31st.
Yeah, so cool. And it's cool because a lot of the women know each other and they're all friends because it's all in the same area and they kind of run in the same circles. So I feel like it'll just be super fun as well. And just like a good networking event, so special too. And just to see everyone or like as many people that can come out all together that were a part of something so special is so fun and so cool.
Yeah, it really is. You're right, though. I think so many of the women know each other, and I think it's great. And the funny thing is, I literally think, Rebecca, you could probably do the show almost every day. That's how many powerful women there are in San Diego.
Agreed. And, that just shows, we talk a lot about San Diego being, a powerhouse of innovation and all of that. We really do have a lot of great things about San Diego County. Our new sheriff just elected last year, Kelly Martinez. She's actually been a guest. Our Summer Steffen, our district attorney. We really have some amazing women in the county, and even, small business owners and all of that. It really is a vast array of amazing talent here in San Diego County. We've even had a few people outside of the county, but really I agree. We could do one every single day and have all of these amazing women showcased.
There's no question about it. Yeah, it's pretty cool because you've had quite the array of guests, from seasoned professionals, CEOs of big companies, right, to startup companies.
Yeah. Bitch and sauce. even bitch and sauce.
Maya's
here.
Cookies.
Maya's Cookies right there in San Marcos now. I don't know if you know this, Charles, but Maya was a guest on the show. And then I said, hey, you need to come open a shop in San Marcos. And there she is right there in North City, right next to the university.
That's fantastic. No, I actually didn't know Of course, I knew when she was on the show. I did not know they had opened up in San Marcos. Good for you.
They did. I recruited her off of the show. I didn't even know her ahead of time.
This show's an economic stimulus plan.
It is. And then we also have, some other San Marcos powerhouses, even President Neufeld from CSU San Marcos.
Wow. Hey, let me use the word that Rebecca mentions a lot on the show. Hey, let's do a pivot. I always like that.
Let's do a pivot.
Let's pivot. So let me run a couple things by the two of you and let's get a reaction. And because San Diego clearly has some amazing women leaders. But the question is, how are we doing? And I tell people, and this is a personal stake, and people that know me, I say this all the time, the world's a frazzled place right now.
It is.
And the one play we haven't tried in the playbook is let more women lead countries, communities, corporations, and cities. So how are we doing? So I pulled a little information because, Natalie, you mentioned you'd like to start a company someday. Your mom has been an entrepreneur and now is an entrepreneur leading a city. Fortune 1000 companies, which are the 1,000, let's say, largest companies. Right now, 7.4% of those Fortune 1000 companies have a woman CEO.
Wow.
What do you think of that number?
Terrible. I think it should be more.
Natalie, what do you think?
It's pretty low.
Only 7.4%.
I definitely thought it would be more.
I thought so too. Single digits. That's pitiful.
And
honestly.
this is recent data. I'm going to make sure this report's available the night of the event.
Yeah.
Because I think it's because you're putting in amazing work. Natalie, you're putting in amazing work. My daughter is putting in work, and the key is 7.4% after 20, 30, 40 years of climbing and fighting. It seems like a pretty low number to me too.
It is.
Okay.
And if you think about just how far we've come, we seemingly have come a long way, but that number does not lie. That is proof that we still have a long way to go.
Yeah. Well, here's another number which may be equally or more discouraging. Now, because those are public companies, Fortune 1000 are publicly traded companies which have boards. So privately held companies, large privately held companies, women are CEOs of only 5.4%
Wow.
of privately held companies.
Wow.
So
That's very disheartening. And, I think that just kind of goes back to the point of there are, I talk about this actually quite a bit. And even in politics, it's this way. There are a lot of, and not you, Charles, of course, because you're very pro-woman. But there are a lot of men who pretend to be very equal opportunity and all of that. But the fact that most women actually still can be working the same job and making less than men is it really is very shocking. And to have both of those numbers in single digits, just a fraction of what, the men are earning, the men actually doing the job, it's just a fraction of women being able to do that. I just think that we have a long way to go because women have to work harder for the opportunity. And there still is this, I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's still this portion of men that are like, well, don't worry your pretty little head about this because that's above what you're capable of doing. And the truth is, I think women are very well-rounded. We make good decisions. I personally, in business, I don't make emotional decisions ever, even though we tend to be deemed as more emotional. Many of us can actually make decisions that are very no nonsense and have nothing to do with actual emotion. And I think that makes us very, very well-rounded. And, the other part of it is women have far less egos. And so we don't make decisions based on fear. We don't make decisions based on ego. We make decisions based on facts and actual data and, what's actually happening.
I heard something really cool about 2 weeks ago. Very, very close friend of mine, like a brother, just retired after 25 years in the military. And you know what he mentioned to me? Because he's involved with Cloudcast as well, and he knows the show. And then Natalie, I think, and this would be I think you'll appreciate this, and I know you will as Rebecca. He told me the best leaders he had in the military in 25 years were women.
Not shocking.
I said to him, that's fantastic for you to actually let me know that. Yeah. And I think the whole world should hear that. This is someone who was both a police officer and then military 25 years. Said the best leaders he had in the military were women. So it comes down to giving women more and more opportunities. But getting back to your point about this viewpoint, using your words, don't worry your pretty little head, since those are your words, I'm just going to repeat them.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of this, because when I saw this number, it raised a red flag for me. So now we have nonprofit social impact organizations, which are the lifeblood of so many communities around this country. Small nonprofits defined as under $1 million of revenue, 56% are run by women, but if they're above $1 million, it drops to 22%. So women are run, looks like women have a proportionate share of small nonprofits, but if the nonprofit gets, quote, large, end quote, a man runs it. Rebecca, Natalie, any thoughts? What's that about?
Well, back to my point of, the comment that I made, don't worry your pretty little head. The fact that we have earned the opportunity. Clearly, at 56% of the smaller nonprofits, they're doing a great job. They're doing a good job. They're helping people. I think the fact that it even comes into play that, and I'm sure it's not this, okay, well, we're over $1 million, so therefore we can't hire women. I don't think that's how it is. I just believe that a lot of times it could be that the women are afraid to actually, get outside of their head and apply for those positions. Or it is just the simple fact that there is a bias that still happens, sadly, in business, that women can't do as good of a job as men. And it just isn't real. It is 100% not true, because clearly there are so many ways that women excel. And we really, like I said, our egos don't come into the room before us with many men. And I'm not saying all men, I don't want to generalize, but definitely, and even in politics, I think the women that are in politics tend to be viewed as more of, they can be controlled. I can tell you that the women that I know in politics, many of them still think that they need to be controlled and do things a certain way. I just have never felt that way.
Yeah. Now on the Good. I'm sorry, Natalie. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like also, it would be interesting to know what the numbers were like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because it's probably jumped up so much. So it's like those percentages are probably much larger than they were even like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's such a small number, but then it's also like, you know what, like things are changing. And I've noticed, 10 years ago when I was younger, like not many women, I feel like as many, were CEOs or running companies. And even like in my school, I feel like a lot more women. When I first started at USD, I felt like there weren't as many girls like in my business classes. And then by the end, when I graduated, there were a ton. So I feel like even like things are changing, and as discouraging as those numbers are, I feel like a lot of women are changing things. And even personality wise, like I feel like women aren't as expected to be, oh, you have to act a certain way, or oh, you have to be like this if you're a CEO or whatever. I feel like women are more being like, I'm going to do things the way I want to do it, and just because I'm a woman, I don't have to act differently. And as negative as those numbers are, I feel like things are changing, and like there is a positive to it of, I can visibly see things are changing. So like, I wonder in 20 years what those numbers will be like. And I feel like the trajectory is going up, but there's definitely work to do for sure, because those numbers are pretty small.
Really, really great observation. Yeah. And I love the confidence, because I do believe, I can tell you, I believe the pendulum is absolutely in a hard
Swinging.
swing.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
and appropriately so, because here's the joke I tell everyone, which is name a problem on the planet and it was likely created by a man. So why not try something new? It's not like we can do worse. So let's give women every opportunity to lead. Hey, so the question is, and now that's the U.S. because you're right, the numbers have moved up, and we have that. I have that data, by the way. We should probably have that conversation at some point, maybe at that event, because
Yeah.
I think Rebecca, you should have a little panel discussion at that event with a few women and talk about what can continue to move that pendulum and swing it harder. But then there's the global issues. So right now there's 193 UN member nations. This is where there's been very little progress. 15 countries are run by women out of 193. That hasn't moved much. It's never been higher than 17, and it's kind of plateaued. So the one thing I would say, Natalie, is in some sense, the opportunity for women to lead in the U.S. isn't necessarily reflective of what's happening in the rest of the world.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, even like in some of my class at USD, like there's a huge difference of being a woman in the US versus being a woman pretty much anywhere else, which is so sad. And I feel like that's like a global issue that, a lot of women in the US could help with just their effect and their ability to go out in the world and change things. But I totally agree. I totally see that globally it's not the same as being a woman in the US or working. I mean, even like schooling, so many women are much more educated in the US than anywhere else. And that has a huge effect with their ability to lead in companies or countries and all of that.
Now, there's one thing related to the U.S. that I'm not happy about, and I'm going to see your reaction. Because even though we are making progress in the U.S., and Natalie, you hit the nail on the head, the curve's changing. There's a good trajectory. I think we need to nudge it even more. But the United States has 167 ambassadors to other nations. So of the 193 nations at the UN, about 26 of them we don't have an ambassador to. There's probably some issue. But of the 167 ambassadors that our federal government chooses, they've only chosen 30 out of 167 to be women, which is really not even 20%. That's 18%.
Well, do you want to know why I think that could be?
Yeah, that's why I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, I actually have a theory on that. And I believe that that's probably because there are some countries that a woman would not be welcome, sadly. Mm-hmm. But I do believe that there still are many countries where women are looked at and, seen as weak, or maybe they wouldn't be doing a good job or whatever. So I think definitely that's just because of the bias in the country that they would be serving in.
Mm-hmm. That goes back to the kind of the international issue that Natalie was mentioning.
Totally.
Well, listen, like I said, it's been great progress, but it's work, and Rebecca, we even though I know on this show you're always Rebecca Jones,
Yes.
and there's no politics, but we can't ignore the fact that you are in fact one of one of the great leaders leading a city in this country. There's not a lot of women that are mayors of substantial cities, and you run 100,000 citizen city, and the work you do in the community, and then the work you do in the studio, is powerful, and every little bit helps. And when you're trying to swing that pendulum and put more force behind that momentum, every little bit helps. And even Natalie, I'll tell you, it's amazing for me to see you on the screen here and hear you talk about supply chain and manufacturing. I met you when you were in college, and again, it's so to see your own growth curve, not which has nothing to do with necessarily this show. It's your mom, and it's how you're evolving and growing and what it's all about. But it's just wonderful to see, just to be on this and hear you talking about supply chain and manufacturing. It's great. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And to hear you say you want to have your own business someday.
Very cool. Let me just go back for 1 second here. You mentioned me serving as mayor, a woman serving as mayor. Do you realize that the city of San Marcos is 60 years old now? I was elected 5 years ago. I was the first woman ever elected as mayor in my city. So, I mean, yes, there still is a bias, Charles.
No
And,
question.
seeing young people like Natalie, though, where she is confident, she is, ready to take on the world and make a change, affect actual change. I think that is definitely what this show has really been centered on. And that is, again, trying to propel women to go out and try things, propel them to, make a difference, be trailblazers in their careers. And, I don't believe in San Diego County we've ever had a woman that has served as our sheriff. And I know that's actually factual. So, you've got all of these women trying these things that are, first times. That's a great thing, but we need to make sure that we remember the why or how we got here and not forget the history of all of it, and continue to, have these opportunities for women, give them a chance to shine, because we do. Every woman, and, we talk about this a lot on the show, every woman is beautiful, has an opportunity to shine, and we just need to not be our worst enemies, and we need to go out there and take the opportunity and become all that we're supposed to be in this world.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
And I think also like the more women that are like my mom that are breaking boundaries of, oh, I'm the first female mayor, or just actually making an effort to share the stories of other women and uplift those stories. And just, I think the more women that are making a conscious effort to try to change things and move the needle on things, I feel like the better off we'll be. And I really admire my mom for that. And it obviously has inspired me to be like that. And I just think the more women that are doing that, the bigger difference there is. And I think I've noticed through SheEO, like so many women are so passionate about it, and every woman that comes on is so passionate about inspiring other women and younger women. And I don't think there's a lack of women that want to make a difference. I think it's just actually getting out there and doing it.
Well, this has been a great discussion. Thank you so much for joining us, Natalie and Charles. A different kind of conversation here. I think you're the first man that's actually been on our show, Charles.
And I'm pretty sure I'll never be on another one, nor probably will any other man. But it was so wonderful to just kind of reflect on, we've gone from 0 to 100. And obviously they have the opportunity to work with the both of you, meet so many amazing women. And for me, it's about lifting all women, but certainly one in particular, my daughter. Her name is Ava, because I want her to have a phenomenal place to grow and work someday.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learn how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with SheEO host Rebecca Jones.